Hi everyone, welcome back to another week of Art at Home with the Creative Place. This week we are going to be learning a little bit about an artist called Romero Britto, who has really vibrant, colourful, beautiful artwork that is full of lots of really positive messages. So we're going to learn a little bit about him before we get started. This is Evolution by Romero Britto. Britto is a visual artist who taught himself how to do art using what he had around him to create. His art is about sending messages of positivity. He wants to inspire positive change in the world through his art, which is really neat. His work was really influenced by Pablo Picasso and Henri Matisse, who he really took a lot of inspiration from. This is True Love by Romero Britto. I'd just like you to pay attention to the background and on the dog itself, where he has broken them into different shapes, different parts, and in each of those different shapes there is different patterns and different colours that he has used, which look really neat, bright and colourful and super positive. This last one is called India, and again you can see he's broken in particular the elephant into different shapes and different parts using different colours and different patterns, which looks really neat and really makes it stand out from the background quite nicely as well. Also just notice some of the shapes, especially looking at the grass there, he's used some really subtle patterning to add detail. Before we get started on our art today, it's a good idea to get everything that you need ready so that you can use it when you need to. The things you're going to need today are paper, pencil and eraser, coloured pencils and or felt pens. You will also need a Sharpie or a Vivid, even a black felt pen will work just fine. The last thing that you're going to need for our art today is you're going to need something to draw. When you are deciding what you might like to draw today, have a think about what's something you really like and that you have around home, something that you think is really cool or looks really cool. It might be your favourite toy or your favourite something that you've got. It doesn't have to be those things, but you might like to use those as inspiration. Like in Romero Britto's artwork, he has cats and dogs, so you might like to draw your pet. Today, I've chosen something really simple to draw, and if you are really new at drawing, choosing something that is quite simple is a good option. So I've just chosen some apples today that I'm going to draw. I've set my apples out in front of me so I can see them really clearly while I'm drawing them, taking note of all of the angles and curves. I'm now starting to break my apples and the background up into their different shapes. The shapes that I'm breaking my apples into are kind of going in line with the curve that I see on them too. Once you've drawn in your big objects and broken your background and your objects into some different shapes, it's now time to take our Sharpies. If you don't have a Sharpie or a Vivid, using a black felt pen will work alright as well. And we're going to go over top of these pencil lines, as well as at this point we're going to add patterns to different sections of shapes we've got through here as well, which you'll see in my next little clip. Now that I've gone over all of my pencil lines, I'm starting to add in these patterned details into the some of the shapes that are on my apples and in the background as well. So I'm using a variety of straight lines, curvy lines, zigzag lines, circles, but make it up as you go, and I'm really interested to see all of the creativity that happens during this part. So I'm starting to add my colour now into my shapes. I've decided to keep the apple colours fairly red, pinky types of colour, and making my background quite different colours like blues and greens, so that the apples really stand out. You might like to do something different, and that's totally fine. It's totally up to you what you would like to do. So here I am adding in some of my background colours now, which are the greens and blues. You can see that with my apples I haven't made them exactly the same, but I've kept those similar colours through all of the apples. Once my colours are all done, I'm going back and adding a little bit of extra detail with slightly darker coloured pencils on the shapes that I think might look a little bit nicer with a little bit extra in, which you are also welcome to take inspiration from. I hope you've really enjoyed this Romero Britto inspired art workshop today. I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you have as well. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, please check out my Facebook and my Instagram post, The Creative Place. The links are down in the description, and make sure to follow me on them as well. If you do one of these Romero Britto inspired artworks, please send it through to me. I'd love to see any finished work that is done. Other than that, have a wonderful week. See ya.